Okay, so this is Wonder Woman Play Art Sky, and this is the movie version. So there's another Play Art Sky variant, which is more anime, but I'm not very fond of the armor. If you've seen it, there's a huge opening in the stomach, and I think that if they really wanted to like do their own armor, they should have just cut it down her stomach in a V position. So yeah, I really prefer this one, and I really like Wonder Woman's armor in her movie. So first up is The Lasso of Truth. I'm not that much of a fan of it. I think it's a bit lacking that it's frozen, and well, it's supposed to be a lasso, so uh, they could have just added like a golden string of some kind that can be molded in different different ways. It would really help in posing because this one's hard. It's set in place, which is good for posing her like in the box, but a bit lacking when you really want to be creative with it. I think I'd just buy that kind of string. I forgot what it's called, but I'll show it to you sometime. So this goes in her on one of her holsters on the side. It can really go anywhere, but if you want to follow the one on the box, then it goes to her right, this part. Okay. Next is the sword. I'm not that fond of the sword. You can see the details. There are some details, but it's quite lacking. It could have been a lot better. That's what I'm saying. And with the price, I was expecting more details with the sword. The handle's really good. It's really detailed. See, you can see everything there. Yeah, look at that. Too bad the blade in itself is not so much. Anyway, this is the piece I like the least. Not because of the blade, but more actually of the handle. So the way you place the sword in one of her hands, I'll show it to you later, is that you remove the handle first, then you insert the handle from below. The problem is, my problem with this one is that, as you can see here, hang on, there, the opening is square, but this my the point is a bit rectangular, or oh no, it's actually triangular, so I don't know why. I'm not sure if that's a defect, but it should have went through some quality checks. It does hold in place, but when you place it for a long time, like when you make her hold it, since she would be holding it either here or here, anywhere really, it tends to fall off half the time. So it's not very good. Yeah. So the sword is the one I like the least. Anyway, next is the shield. The shield is really well done. Look at that. Look at all that detail. See? It really reflects the one in the movie. And I really like that one too. It's cleaner than expected. The other Wonder Woman variant also has a shield. It's much thicker. This one's I think more historically accurate, at least on what the Greeks used before, since yeah. Um, the other variant has damage in her shield, but I prefer this one. Looks clean, looks really tough. Yeah, and look at the details on the straps itself. It's very well done. Just little holes here, but it you can't move it, you can't tighten it up. And this part is very bendable, as you can see. You can bend it however you like. Maybe just not, not side to side. So. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be details here. I think there should have been details there, but they gave up on it for some reason. Because they should have just made this like a smooth gold. That would have worked, because you already have the handle, and the holds for the handle are also very detailed. You can see, hang on. There. See that? Yeah. Very good. Okay, so far among her weapons, the shield is the one I like the most. Next up are the hand switch outs. So there are 6 pairs. Wonder Woman actually comes in default with the open hands, here, but I prefer the closed hands in this kind of pose, so I switched it out. Anyway, the hands here, there's a bit of discoloration really, and I'm not a fan of that. So there's a discoloration. See, so these are the open hands. There's a discoloration on the left near the knuckles, unlike this one, which is really clean. So the sort of darker brown color on this part of the hand is really intentional, which gives it a more of like a tight effect, which is really good. But yeah, I hate the black line here. I should really color that one out. I'll try, but maybe I'll just hire someone to do it. Anyway, see the open hands as well. God, there are black lines near the bone of the thumb and the palm itself, as compared to this one, which is really clean. Oh, yeah, it's not very exact as well. If you can see, like the right hand, the forefinger of the right hand is, a bit loose compared to the one on the left. Okay. So these are the semi-open hands that you use for holding the weapons. Okay. So see, same as with this one, the left hand is a bit more discolored on the knuckles. And there we go. I'm not a fan of that, especially as the right one is really clean. I think this should be this was the goal, and this is a bit of a defect. Okay, so similar to the first part, there are darker shades of brown in the gloves, which is made for the aesthetics of it. Okay, see, okay, so that part near the pinky, the palm near the pinky of the left hand is discolored. It's like the dark brown color spilled over, which just made it black on the palm. The right hand is the correct one. It's what it should have been. Yeah. Okay. Alright. So, to Wonder Woman herself. In the box, it says there are 28 points of articulation. I just wish that they actually mentioned or gave a drawing of what those articulations are, because it's very hard to see, because she's wearing a skirt, so you don't know if, especially if this is your first Play Arts action figure, because this is my first Play Arts. you don't know whether you can move the torso or not, which was really hard to know because she's really stiff. I mean, really, at first when I opened this, it was, I mean, like, hours before when I opened this, it was very hard to move her around. You need to kind of like loosen it up. So, and especially with a toy of this price, you really want to be careful with it. So, here, the head is movable, or should I say, okay, so the head is a bit movable. The head itself from the neck. But the neck is also movable from the body itself, so you can make her look down, can make her look up. All right. The upper body, you can move it to some degree, as you can see here. Hang on. There we go. So, yeah. So you can actually turn her a lot. It's really good, really cool. The hands are actually the easiest to move. So as you can see, and you can twist the forearm as well. It's very cool. Alright. There's a lot of poses you can do with the arms itself, especially since everything above it is also movable. The hair is stiff, but it's kind of flexible. I don't want to like remold it because I really like the details and I think it already suits her very well. So when placing the sword here at the back, you can move the hair a little first. Yeah. Okay, so what else? Oh yeah, the details on the armor really cool. So you can see there's like an X here. There's some battle damage, which is really cool. Hang on. Here, hope you can see it. There's also a bit of a slice there. I really like it when like what's supposed to be steel armors have some damage to it. It's great detail. There's one over here as well, which is really cool. So in between the black lines, the red part also has like a shaped lines go along through it to give it more of an aesthetic, which is again really cool. You can see her rib cage is, I mean the armor fits even in her rib cage. You can see here. Yeah. It's not a sash. The belt. Sorry, the belt is a bit discolored, and this part I'm not sure if it's supposed to be. I think this. Yeah, I think this is just a bit of a defect again. So I think this is supposed to be like a darker brown, but it just went to become, well, black spots. If you can see, there we go. Yeah. So this one's a bit easier to recolor as compared to the hands itself because at least this really big. Sorry. Anyway, the crest, the Wonder Woman crest, the eagle on her chest is really detailed, really cool. But the dark gold, parts, as you can see here, and the ones lining here, it's a bit it doesn't work very well with the gold on the other parts of the eagle. It's like, you know, it makes it look a bit cheaper. Like you can probably recolor that, but I mean it's big enough. But you know, just if they just decide to match the insides, this darker gold areas with the gold linings, the usual gold linings, it would have worked well. I don't think anyone would have mind. Especially because it looks, I don't know. At least for this figure, it looks a bit out of place. Like it's just an afterthought. So yeah. Okay. So if you can see her forearms, hang on. There we go. The forearms are really detailed as well. Really cool. Yeah. Get that. There's also battle damage, which I really like. I'm a sucker for battle damage. It could have looked more metallic, I think, because look at this. Look at the armor itself and the skirt. It looks the red and the blue looks very metallic. So it's kind of ironic that the one that's supposed to be like pure iron is, or oh sorry, it's not pure iron. In the lore, it's made of the same material as the Aegis shield. You know, the indestructible shield of the gods, of the Greek gods. So yeah, in the original design of Wonder Woman, these are just really bracelets. Now it's like it's forearm shields, which is actually a good improvement, to be honest. There's a lot of details here. If you can see, look at the other side. There we go. Look at that. It's very cool. The insides are really detailed as well. The straps are pretty cool. It could have been better. The straps could have been better, like the one here on the shield. As you can see, but it's good enough. Yeah. So this pair of hands, the closed hands. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah. There. So both are clean on the top, but then here near the forefinger, it's a bit pinkish. I think it should have been brown as well, or at least like a darker flesh tone rather than pink. Alright, and what else? Okay, so I'm not sure which the right one is. The right hand is glossier. It has a lot more dark lines, but it's a lot glossier as well as compared to the left one. So, but the problem is like that, see? That I don't, hang on. See, I don't like that. There's a black line here and a black dot. Okay, so her hips are actually movable. Similar to, so the head is movable, you can make her look up. And the neck itself is very movable. You can twist the upper body. See that? So there's a lot more choices in posing. So because of the skirt, it's kind of hard to see whether the hips are movable or not, but it is. As you can see here, hang on. Okay, hang on. Sorry. Yeah, so you can move it forward, you can bend it forward, backwards, and sideways as well. It's a bit stiff, especially at first, which was, difficult. I mean, when you're posing her, it does act like gears. See, so if you like bend the leg forward, so there's this sound. So you really have to be careful with that. You can't just bend it really fast. I think it might break. So it's really cool. It's really cool though. There's a lot of ways to position this. The legs are also, you can turn them a little sideways or forward, depending on you. and depending on how bent it is, it could turn even more. So see, here's the leg, here are the legs, and you can move this part and this part. The problem, for me at least, is that this is also movable. The kneecap protector is also movable. I think it would have been great if it was either part of this, like just have it glued to this, if the kneecaps are just glued to this part, or the boots itself, because when you bend it, when you bend it, you have to make sure that the focus of the strength of the bend is not here, otherwise you would be breaking it, and that's, it's really scary. So when you bend it, always place like pressure on the part that you want to bend. And if you want to bend the kneecaps, you would have to drag it along as you bend whatever part you want to bend. So like this, hang on, see, so it opens up here. Okay, there's a lot of points to this. You can bend it a lot, actually. It's stiff and it's tough, but scary. So it further opens up, but you can also bend it down. So hang on. Damn it. Okay, there we go. So you want to bend it with the kneecaps itself, and you want to bend this part. So this is what you do. Always remember to place pressure on the right part. There. My hands are shaky, so yeah. There's a lot of ways to bend this. Anyway. Okay. Alright. I think to some degree you can leave the kneecaps as it is in place and bend the other two parts. I'm not gonna do that because it kinda looks weird. So the ankles are pivotal. There's a lot of ways to move this, so see? And you can turn it as well. Turn it back. It's really good if you want to poster jumping. And the toes are also movable, which is something I find really cool. See? There. So for when she's running and you want to emphasize her running, you can bend this. Pretty cool. Anyway, so that's about it, I believe. There's like hundreds, if not thousands, of poses you can do with this. Overall, I think it should have been a little cheaper because of the discolorations and a bit of a problem with the sword, really. Oh, sorry, the back, I forgot to tell you, the skirt is also movable. It's separate from, it's not fit, but it fits very well here on her curves, but on her waist, but you can move it, so it's easier to pose. Yeah, that's about it. I really like this piece. I just wish that the discolorations, there were a lot less discolorations, and the sword was more detailed. So now I'm gonna show you a pose I made.